It's Laura from Ostomy Story.
And I'm Nicole from Me and My Ostomy.
And today we're doing a collaboration because we're friends in real life. So we were talking last night about kind of all the different changes in lifestyle and things that we have to get used to. So we thought that would be kind of a cool thing to do a video on.
Yep. So we'll start at the top, and we wrote a few of them down, so we'll glance over at it here and there. But one of the first ones is we take way less pills now compared to before we had ostomies. So
yeah, which is really nice. I was telling Nicole I used to call mine the pill parade, and I take the pill parade every morning. The second one is not spending time in the bathroom. Both of us are used to spending so much time in the bathroom, and now we quickly empty it and we're out in no time.
Yeah. Other than changing our bag too, that we have to make time for now.
Right.
It's so much easier than just running to the bathroom every few minutes or every few hours. Do you want to do this one?
Sure. Yeah, because this is kind of my fear. So I think public bathrooms are gross, so I stand up when I poop in public bathrooms, and my feet are always turned the opposite way, so I'm terrified that people think I'm an extremely successful cross-dresser, because if you look underneath, everyone's feet are one way, and then mine are the other, and so I'm always really scared if people wonder that I'm the opposite sex in the wrong bathroom.
Yeah, or for me, I stand up and empty it in public bathrooms too, but I'm used to kneeling, so it's always awkward, and I don't stand straight up. I squat over the toilet, so they're probably wondering what it is. And then when it comes out, I feel it sounds sort of you're puking, so it makes people wonder even more. Just awkward moments sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
The next one, it affected me a lot more with my last ostomy, but not getting a full night's sleep was a really big deal. I'd wake up a few times during the night to empty it. Now it's not so bad. Once in a while I'll wake up. It's just I can't eat late at night.
Yeah, I know. I always get up at least once a night, and I'm lucky because I'm not a heavy sleeper, so I just wake up when it's a balloon, but yeah, at least once a night since I've gotten my ostomy. So the next one we're talking about diet. So we've really had to get used to restrictions. I had a lot of restrictions before I had my ostomy, but I could always eat vegetables and fruits with skin. So that was kind of different. And then we were also talking about how our diet has changed in the way that we do get those, the nutrition aspects that we didn't have before. So we use smoothies and baby food and
who would think that we're in our 20s and buying baby food?
Right, for ourselves and our children.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's weird, and to carry it around in public too. I think some people will wonder. I'll pull it out at work once in a while, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
The next one is constantly explaining it to people is just normal for us now. It's so taboo to speak about pooping and how you do it, but we're so used to explaining it to friends, family, coworkers. If people ask, situations come up, so that's a new normal for us for sure.
Yeah. And then this next one is constantly in the back of my mind, and I feel just a lot of these are constantly in the back of our minds. All of these things are kind of it's just a new thing we deal with throughout the day. And so this one is worrying about hydration, which is huge for me just because I don't drink as much water as I should, and I don't take Imodium as much as I should. So I'm always seeing if my fingers are dehydrated. You know how you can press it and see if it comes back up? No, so there's a couple ways to test your own hydration level. And so you can press your fingers and see if they come up really quickly, and if they don't, it means you're kind of dehydrated. And also you can pull the back of your skin, and if I'm hydrated right now because it went down really quickly, but sometimes if it's not really hydrated, it'll slowly go down. So I'm constantly testing.
Nice
yeah,
tricks.
there you go. I'm always constantly testing how hydrated I am because I'm always worried about it.
Yeah, and you feel accomplished when you finish a water bottle or Gatorade.
I know. I can go to bed now. I've accomplished something.
Yeah. The next one, I think it affects me a lot lately because I'm getting a lot of blockages, but I have to carry grape juice everywhere I go. And even coming to visit Laura, I brought 2 little grape juice, Welch's grape juice, and Yeah, it's just like an important thing to always have on hand just in case like you're in public. And even sometimes if I don't eat something like a vegetable, I'll get a blockage. So things like that, like it's annoying, but whatever. I mean, I carry grape juice and baby food. What else?
And she brought her heating pad to my house. So, and I'm like, I have all of these things. Don't worry. But, you know, it's nice that she has her own just in case we both get blockages at the same time. Yeah. So, yeah. The next one is worried about leaks whenever you smell something bad. Like, I know that whenever anyone farts in my classes, like, when you smell it, like, I immediately touch my bag just to make sure that it's not leaking, because whenever I smell something bad, I'm worried that it's me. So, yeah.
And it could be bad. Like, if you have a bad leak, like, that's really embarrassing. So
Yes, it is.
And along those same lines, like, if you do have a leak, you always need to make sure you have, like, extra supplies with you, and sometimes, like, a change of clothes even. So have, like, little emergency kits to carry around, like, emergency supplies, like, little extra garbage bag, like wafer bag. I don't carry around everything I would normally use to change it.
Yeah.
But
like the bare minimum, right? Yeah. And I told Nicole, and I don't know if I talked about it or not, but I got stuck where like the filter kind of broke and like everything came out and I didn't have anything with me, and so I ended up sticking a pad like to cover it. Yeah, exactly, because that's all I had. So I stuck a pad like over the filter, and then it was fine until I got home. But yeah, be prepared, learn from my mistakes.
Yeah. Ever since you told me that, now I like make sure I always have stuff with me.
I know.
Just in case.
Good. At least you learned from my embarrassing, terrible mistake. Then we also talked about like weight limit, like worrying about carrying things that are super heavy, or like, you know, like working out, you need to not do certain things like abs and so. Yeah,
and I think doctors will say, like, at least mine is pretty comfortable saying, like, oh, you can lift anything now, it's not a problem, nothing should happen. But I've had stoma prolapse issues many, many times, so I have to, like, limit myself more than doctors limit me, but
yeah,
it's just being smart about things, so.
I think that's a good point, because, like, a lot of my doctors tell me that I can eat vegetables, and that always causes blockages for me, so it's kind of like, what works for me might not work for other people, and vice versa, so you kind of do have to, like, set parameters for yourself too.
And you get to like know your own body and how it works. So you don't always listen to what doctors say.
Exactly.
The next one that we have is like we're just used to people being up our butt for some reason or like, another.
But literally though, not like metaphorically. Literally, we're just used to people sticking fingers and probes and things up our butt.
Whether it's like a scope or like physical therapy or like you had a fistula, like there's always like something. Yeah. And it's just normal, which sounds so weird.
Right. Our new normal.
Yeah.
Being afraid of having issues in a public place. This is like one of my biggest fears too now that I think about before I leave. Like if I know that I'm going to be far away from my apartment and I don't have a car, I get pretty worried because sometimes I can have a blockage. I can have really bad gas pains. I can get like, since I still have my inclusion cyst, I get inclusion cyst pain. And then it's like so painful to get back home. And so like being afraid to get stuck out in public when you're in pain and not being able to get home super quickly.
Yeah, that's always a big fear.
Yeah, but that's why we are prepared, right? Like that's why we bring stuff with us.
Bring supplies, grape juice, heating pad.
Gas X.
Yeah, Gas X, another big thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, she has a filter in her bag, but I don't like using them because, I don't know, it just scared me, like, her whole week thing, so I don't use filters, and then when I, like, have gas in my bag, it just doesn't have anywhere to go, so it's like a huge balloon, so that becomes an issue sometimes.
Yeah.
The next one is, like, being afraid of, like, the penis look, just because of the way it looks. Like, sometimes if it's filling up and it's, like, towards your crotch, so it kind of looks like it, and you kind of wonder, like, what people think, or if, like, people even notice, so.
I always, like, have a purse that crosses over my shoulders, and I always, like, put it in front of myself when I, like, get a big bulge, but I always joke with my mom and, like, the friends who do have ostomies or know what it is, and, like, you know, I'm packing more punch than, like, most guys right now. Like, it's so big, and, like, it gets really bulgy, and I do worry about it.
Yeah, and that doesn't help when we're worried about, like, emptying it in the bathroom and facing a different direction, and then people just, like,
essentially,
no reason to think that.
Yeah, we're just scared of people thinking that we're a different sex than we are.
Yeah.
So this next one kind of goes along with it, where it's just like constantly thinking about how you're going to like hide it. Just because like in the morning, I was telling Nicole this, like before I had my ostomy, I'd get up in the morning and it'd be like, oh, what looks cute? I'll wear that. But now I get up in the morning and like, what can I like not go to the bathroom for like 2 hours and still like have concealed and no one sees my ostomy? So that's why I wear lots of like chunky sweaters and stuff like that. So it's just an added layer of like thinking about it every day. So like being able to hide it when you can.
Yeah. Or like if I know that I'm going to a class that's only like an hour and 15 minutes, I can wear something tighter because I know I can empty my bag right before and right after. But if I don't want to be like in school for a longer period of time, I have to like have a sweater with me or like bag your clothes just in case. So, I mean, there's part of me that's like, I really don't care what people think. But then there's also a part of you that's like, you're around people your age and you don't want to like embarrass yourself.
Right. And also like sometimes you just don't want to talk about it with strangers and you just don't want to like explain it. So, I mean, hiding it is a way just to not have to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then emptying too, like in a public place or someone else's house, always kind of worries me because you never know what it's going to smell like. And for people who have ostomies, like, you know what we're talking about, and it has like a distinct smell and it's not pleasant at all, but it's like different. So I don't know, like I tried using deodorizers in my bag and stuff and like it works sometimes, but there's just always that worry.
Yeah.
Especially like in a public bathroom.
Yeah. Very true. So I think that's it for our list, right?
Yep.
So do you want me to post this on mine? Sorry. Like I'll link her channel below if this goes on my channel, and she'll link my channel below if this goes on her channel.
And if you like videos of us like together talking about it or have any questions, like we'd be happy to ask or happy to answer them. So
yeah, absolutely.
Let us know.
Yeah. So thanks guys. I hope you're happy and healthy.
Bye.
Bye.